Hi, this is Talk K Dramas with Bruce and Dallas.
Hey,
We are on episode 4.
indeed.
Hello, me.
hmm
And you have your 3?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And so the two Hanis find a place to live. That's sentence number 1. Sentence number 2, Anthony risks life and limb in order to further his career. I think that's a good way of saying it. Number 3, Hani joins the Joa Snack Company marketing team. I think it's the marketing team.
It's good.
That's my 3.
I think those are good. I almost didn't remember why you said Anthony almost risked his limbs and
Yeah.
but I remember now. And we've messed up on our Saturday strategy of watching and recording.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, it's the holidays.
But it's the holidays.
Yeah.
And then New Year's Day and Christmas wound up landing on Saturday. So that's a thing.
Yeah, so it's been a while since we watched. So this episode starts off, or remember last episode, the sister.
Yeah, they back up a little bit.
They backed up a little bit, them arriving to the sister's house.
Mm-hmm.
But when they get to the sister's house, what ends up happening is the sister thinks that the young Hani is her daughter.
Yes. That was an easy out right there. That was an easy out.
When the sister, and it's the young Hani is the one that kind of thinks that idea, like on the fly.
Right.
But I thought they were going to get caught when the sister is like, what did she say? Something like, she looks just like you, or, and I'm like, oh, they're going to get caught right now. And then, genius, right? Of course, because your daughter could look a lot like you.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
So what was weird was the sister wasn't like, you've been keeping this for 17 years.
I know.
They were like, okay, we all do this.
Right.
So she's like, you need to, I liked it because you didn't know what was going to happen after they said that.
Mm-hmm.
And the sister is like, well, you know what you got to do. Send her back to her father. So did it take you a second? I was like, wait, father? Does she mean like to send her back in time? Does she know? And she's going to send her back to dad? And then that's when I realized, she thinks it's her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that was a good one.
Yeah, that was good. That was, writing wise, I'm like, that's an easy enough fix. I mean, if you can believe how you said it, right? It's like she kept a 17-year-old secret. I mean, is that even possible? But I guess it is. I guess it's believable for her. But I mean, I'm also think about it. It's like the counter is absolutely ridiculous to think that the younger Hani is actually present. You know what I'm saying, right? And so it's like literally you just process it the fastest you can, and so therefore this is completely it's believable to me. Like the reaction and everything.
So there's a little scuffle.
There is a little scuffle.
Did you remember that? And she pulls off her wig.
She pulls up.
He calls her bald eagle.
Yep. Yes. Get your hands off of my mother. Yeah. It went down something like that. And see, that's where I think, if the writing's good, because I think they dropped it on purpose, where the younger Hani called the mother or the sister called her bald eagle. She actually said that, like called her bald eagle. Yeah. And so if that's the case, then like what the sister should be thinking is, how would she know? How would she know? Right?
I thought that too. When I heard her say that, I'm like, she's going to wonder how she knows. But I'm thinking, well, I mean, that's, Hani would tell her daughter, oh yeah, we called her bald eagle.
Yeah, maybe.
And so don't call her that unless, so unless you get in a big fight, you're going to bring that up.
Right.
Okay. So
yeah, you know what? Because there's no reason to think. I get it. Because the older sister, there's no reason to think that the two Hanis didn't talk with each other.
Yeah, it's her daughter.
It's like it's just a secret. Yeah. Okay. I could work with that. What's that?
We used to call.
Yeah.
So I think this is the scene at the department store where Anthony and Hyun are buying the same jacket.
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. Yes.
And they do that little like who's better, like, or who's more famous, the son of a CEO or an actor. And I guess they end up both taking the coat home.
Yes, they both bought it.
It was kind of cool.
Well, I don't know. Did Anthony buy it? I know for sure.
I want to say he
did.
I want to say he did take it home. They both did.
Probably did.
So anyways,
that was so funny. Like,
I love those two. They're kind of competing because they both are kind of on the same level.
Yeah.
You know, so
they're basically the same character. Yeah. I mean, like, just like that childish, banter between them. If you don't like it, because I'm going to tell you flat out.
Who's not going to like it? It's cute.
No, this episode was a throwaway episode for me.
Like, okay, you know what? I didn't want to say it.
This episode was completely forgettable.
I didn't want to say it.
I could have lived my whole life without this episode.
I know, me too. I felt like that, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, so they spent all their time developing the two characters we care least about.
But let's talk about then let's try to find the fun stuff.
Okay, let's find the fun stuff.
So the fun stuff is our young Ha-ni is smart and she extorts money from the sister.
Oh my goodness, that was genius. That was a genius ass move right there.
Because the young sister, remember who she really is. Like she is that. She still thinks of her sister as being this just nerdy.
Yep. Even said as much.
Yes.
Right.
So it's easy for her.
Did all right for herself. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's easy for her to do that, to just go up there and be like, "Look, I've been working for you this whole time," or her mother.
Yeah.
You need to pay her.
Yeah.
You know, and so they gave her 10,000 won.
No, 10 million.
10 million won. So that's 10,000.
Approximately, yeah.
So that was enough money for them to go rent an apartment.
Yep.
That was a big deal this episode. They rent an apartment. And then we find out later why it was so cheap. Because remember, she was like only 5,000 down or something. And I don't know the numbers exactly, but she's like, why so cheap?
Right.
And I was a little bit
500,000 won down. Yeah, something like that.
But we find out that the place is haunted because when they go to the local convenience store later, they're like, "Oh, you rented that place? It's haunted."
Yeah.
And so I think that is going to come into play later.
Yeah, it better because
we have the shaman.
And
they still have to do the rain dance.
Okay, we'll call it the rain dance.
Oh, well, it's a dance while it's raining.
There you go. That works better for me.
And now they have an apartment that's haunted. So I think that's all going to work together.
Oh yeah. They definitely there's definitely going to be some hilarity that happens in that space. That's for sure.
Okay.
That's for sure.
So continuing with the funny stuff that happened in this episode, even though we called it a throwaway episode.
It is a throwaway episode. And let's not call it anything different than that. For all of our faithful followers, all like 12.
But there was some good stuff. Okay, this
let's not call it anything else.
So Hyun at work, he gets the two other the women, and he takes them to the executive lounge. Yeah. I love that because they're like, who do you know? The what was it, like the supervisor, the janitors or whatever. I forgot who it was. And he's like, I know the CEO.
Right.
Or something like that. So
I'm connected to the CEO some way, somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and they're like, what? Please.
Yeah. So he puts him in the massage chair. And they also think he's a liar when he says he knows the CEO. They're like, yeah, and he's a liar. So because they don't think too highly of him.
For sure. They do not.
So one of the women,
until he whips up all those vegetables. Woo!
I know. See, that's what happens when you're motivated.
Yeah.
I'm learning that with the kids. Don't ask them to do things until they're motivated, because then they get it done.
Right.
It's hard to always do that because I'm always like trying to make the kids clean their room or something like that. But I'm like, I keep telling myself, why try so hard? Wait till they ask for something. Because then it's easy and there's no fighting.
Right.
Like that was our philosophy with like sports.
That is true.
Because when they were younger, like, oh my gosh, seeing the parents and the kids yelling and fighting and the kids are crying and the parents are like, why do I always have to tell you to put your stuff in your bag, or the game's going to start, you got to put your socks and shoes on, and they're yelling.
Yep.
We never had that problem.
Never.
Because we're like, it's the opposite with us. Like they would have to be like, Mom, it's time to go. Like we have to go.
Yep.
So we always,
our kids are motivated.
They had to motivate us to take them.
For sure.
So anyways, all of that to go back to Hune and his vegetables.
Yeah, look, I mean, so the thing that they're trying to establish, I feel like they're just trying to establish, like, dude can work. Dude he is worth something.
He has like 20, how many certificates? So he
has a lot of certificates. Yeah, it's like he's smart, right? He can work hard when he's motivated. And so it's like he's just,
there are people like that, right? Is that
he just needs to heal.
Who's like that?
There's gonna be something that needs to heal with him.
Going back to the Enneagram stuff, isn't there like
he's a 7.
People that need to just be
motivated.
They just wait until they're, you always told me that about Carter, because I'm like, Carter doesn't want to do anything, he's not motivated, and you're like, wait till he finds what he wants to do, and then you won't be able to stop him.
Yeah,
because I'm an encourager. Like I like to encourage people to do stuff. Nag. Some people call it nag.
Or push.
And so
throw.
I know. So you can throw. So
throw people into the mix.
So you kept telling me, just wait. When Carter finds what he wants to do, you won't be able to stop him. Like he's just, and it finally, well, it happened with football, sports, and then now with him,
it was sports was his main motivator for a long time, and then now it's cooking.
Yeah, we can't stop him.
Smoking meat
and cooking. Like he's starting to make
cook
so
we bought him a shirt for Christmas. Smoked brisket, not meth. It's amazing. Shout out to the shirt makers on that one. Do you know who you bought that from?
No.
Okay.
So
but find it, Google it. It's amazing.
Anyway,
love the shirt.
Anyways, going back to Hune, is that he has a lot of interest. He just has to find the right motivation. And because I have a ton of interest too. We talked about that, right? I even wrote down the other night, if I could have a certificate in everything that I know, or want to know, I started writing them all down. I'm like, web design, gardening, sourdough bread, sewing. I had like a huge list.
Oh, for sure.
And so sometimes you just, so once he finds his motivation, but he found it, and he cut up all those vegetables. He's trying to get out early.
7s are about fun. Like it's like they're enthusiastic. They're seeking the next adventure. No, for sure. That's not you. You're a 3. So, but if you're sticking with that Enneagram thing, like, so then the thing that he is motivated by, right? He wanted to get out early. He was motivated to go do what he wants to do. And so that's what'll motivate him. Carter, on the other hand, he's a 6. He's fear-based. And so everything new to him that he doesn't want to do is fearful. He's afraid. But when he's not afraid, right? When he is self-motivated and not afraid, he just goes and takes off. That's the difference. And it's really hard to tell.
Cautious. He's a very cautious.
Yeah. But once he breaks that, once caution and fear is not once he gets past that, they just go. That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, and it takes a long time. It's like, if you're ever going to do the whole Enneagram thing, I've said this on, feel free to go back to any of those Enneagram ones that I looked at. Go to 9types.com. And get some more insight there. That's a pretty decent one to start with if you want to get involved. But just remember, it's more about you learning about yourself. Don't use this to learn about other people. Use this to learn about you, and to try some things out for yourself. And then for me, like I said, it's like, look, I'm a weirdo. I figured myself out, and I accepted myself, and then I was able to identify and look at other people and all that stuff. But anyway,
I think for Hune too, his dad taking away everything.
Yeah, that's supposed to be motivating, but we'll see.
It should be, right, for somebody.
But like really, it's not. That's not the tough love thing. Doesn't work with 7s very well.
Ooh.
7s will just say bleep you and walk off, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
That's what our oldest son did. Our oldest son is a 7. And we tried to do the tough love thing, and he was just like, bleep you, I'm out. And maybe that's a little bit too much for right now. We'll move on. I could tell how you're looking. It's like, okay, we'll move on.
Well,
we'll get to this thing.
I'm also trying to read my notes here and see, like, okay, so what do we want to talk about? The next other little scene is Anthony, and he's looking for Miss Kim. Miss Kim.
Yeah.
Because she's, I guess, a famous writer.
Yes. And they're like, yeah, they're creating some show or something.
And he wants to be in it.
He wants to be considered because they were told it was I think it was last episode. Well, surely it was last episode where it was like, yeah, you're not even being considered, bro. Like,
yeah. So he wants to do this. So this is where we see him, and he goes out and he finding her favorite dish, a fish. So he goes,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So he goes to, so he can make her sashimi or something.
Yeah.
And he has to climb this mountain.
He caught the fish himself.
Yes. And he filleted or whatever. And he had to climb up that mountain.
Yeah.
So this whole scene to me, like, was a little bit of the throwaway scene. It kind of reminded me, if you watch Nacho Libre, when he also climbs a mountain to find the eagle egg.
The eagle.
So if you haven't seen
powers.
Nacho Libre, that's our family
Christmas movie.
Like my
that's
parents.
Our Christmas Eve movie.
We watch it every year.
Eating tamales.
But when we get to that scene, I'm just like, this is so dumb. Why did they even put this in? It's and that's how I felt with this one. This little scene.
It's like that.
Him climbing up the mountain, doing all that stuff, but him finally reaching Miss Kim was kind of important, because she did say to him, like, I don't like this bad boy image or something of you. You're
a jerk, you're arrogant, like all that stuff on the internet, all that stuff on social media. She's like, I don't like that. I don't like the scandals. I don't like all that stuff. Like that stuff, the negative stuff, I don't like that.
And so but then when she finds out that he caught the fish and he did all that, like, that was impressive to her.
Yes.
And so
it was moving.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's what she wanted to see, somebody like that. So she's offering him a chance.
Yes.
To earn his way to that role.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Anyways, so that was kind of cool.
I liked it. Yeah. I liked the meeting. I didn't like all the extra stuff around it.
Yeah,
I felt that meeting was necessary. Well, to tell you the truth, what I liked more was when I don't know if it was the very next scene, but when the assistant starts running down like all the negative stuff on social media.
Yeah.
Like they have a meeting, and because clearly Anthony is trying to improve his image.
Yes.
And so he's like, yo, let's run this thing down. And then he got the assistant just ripped in. Woo, my goodness.
Well, I wrote some of those down.
Yeah.
Rude, arrogant, loves sponsorships, two-faced, horrible personality, dumb, can't spell.
That whole can't spell thing was so funny. Yeah, that was funny.
So they go on to like giving examples where he put he was supposed to say, you're so funny, it cracks me up. And he said, you're so funny that I do crack. And then lock up the barn after the dog is stolen. I don't know what that was, but it was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't know why that was supposed to be funny, but I guess after the cow, maybe it's supposed to be the cow.
I don't know, but also they said all his plastic surgery made him look older. And it's tacky.
Yeah.
So so anyways, he's trying, all of this whole drama is about healing, right? So he's healing. So but that was one of the next scenes. The other one was that Hyun's actually looking for an apartment in the same neighborhood. After the older Ha-ni does tell him, I'm looking for an apartment in this area.
Yeah.
So that's why he did all the vegetables to leave early to go and find his own apartment there.
Right.
And he does rent like a student apartment.
Yes.
Something like that. I remember the view where he's like, this has a view.
And it's a wall. That was amazing.
Like the electrical, were they like electrical outlets or something?
Yeah. And if we need, and just in case we needed a confirmation, they gave it to us in regards to Hyun. He did figure out that Ha-ni was Superman because that he had changed the name from Old Woman to Superman.
Okay, I saw that, but it didn't hit me until just right now when you said that.
Yep, that's why I get paid the big bucks.
Oh, so he
So,
has some feelings. There's some like emotional feelings there,
oh, for
right?
sure.
Like that's probably why he went to go find an apartment,
Mm-hmm.
to find an apartment there. So this is the part where he meets up with his aunt and she gives him a whole bunch of clothes, like nice clothes. Remember
Yeah, I
that?
think it's not. I don't. Yeah, yeah. Is
Well,
it
I want to say that
aunt or I think it's a stepmom? Is it a stepmom or is it aunt?
I thought she said aunt. He called her
Okay,
auntie.
you know what? Then yeah.
But while they're having this exchange, the Hanis see them because remember they're in
Yes.
the same neighborhood, and they
I think
think he's
he's
a
a gigolo.
gigolo. Yes, they think he's a gigolo.
Got him a sugar mama.
Yes, yes. So then
I wouldn't
they,
mind one of those.
are you trying to tell me I need to, I need to find a job? We talked about this last episode.
Okay, let's not bring that boy back up. Okay, all right.
If you make me, I have, a lot of interest
Oh, that's for sure.
and certificates.
Mm-hmm.
I can get a job.
You can
Easy.
get the job.
You
Yes,
make a
you
lot
could.
of money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Hyun and the Hanis end up meeting up at the convenience store.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny. I love the young Hani. She's so witty. She calls him Bluebird. She's like, hey, Bluebird, because he's wearing that blue jacket. So he's like, Bluebird.
No, but that was also a reference. The
Oh,
Bluebird was a reference to like some kind of movie that had a gigolo in it.
really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was a whole that was the discussion when they were like saying, "Oh, he's a gigolo." The young honey was like, "Yo, like in that movie Bluebird, something, something,
Oh, I
something."
thought it was because of his
No, it wasn't
jacket.
because of his jacket.
But
Well,
his
I mean,
jacket was
he just
bright
happened to
blue.
have a blue jacket, and so yeah,
Oh
the
my God,
Bluebird
that makes it
thing.
even funnier.
Yeah, honey's on it. The younger one,
Okay, so
she's quick witted.
that movie they were talking about, it's called Bluebird.
Bluebird something. Yeah,
That's
there.
hilarious. That is so funny.
Yeah, there was something in there with Bluebird
Because he does kind of remember, then he has a look like, what?
Yeah,
And I thought it was because of his jacket. And now that's even funnier.
it's
Anyways. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But she calls him Bluebird and says, stop hitting on my mom. I don't know what he was saying. Do you remember what he was saying? He wasn't obviously wasn't hitting on her, but he was saying,
well, she's just I don't think that there's been anything evident in that space. He hasn't made any progress.
Okay, so I think this is the scene where they're going back to Joa and they do another protest.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the CEO has a little flashback of his wife's memorial,
Mm-hmm.
and his son bringing him a snack.
Yes.
Remember? And so this is all of this because he had that conversation with Hani in the last episode about how she likes snacks so much because of her dad.
Right.
And so what ends up happening is he offers her a job in the same office with the daughter-in-law.
Yep.
Right? Because we're going to see that at the end of the episode. So the daughter-in-law is what's her name? The daughter-in-law, she's the team leader for the company.
Right.
So her name is what is her name? I don't know if I know her name, but she's Yoon's wife.
Yeah.
And so Yoon, you said he was his brother, but I couldn't figure out when I was looking up the cast if that's the brother. They just call him director of planning.
Okay.
So what happens is
brother or cousin, because if
they're related.
They're clearly related. Yeah.
Anyway,
I think it's his younger brother. I understand he's calling her auntie, but I cannot imagine. So the father, he's what, it was 20 years ago, at least 20 years ago, that his wife has passed away. There is no way that dude does not get remarried. There is no way. And therefore, that's why I think that that's like his stepmom.
I don't even know who you're talking about. I didn't talk about no other woman.
The auntie, you're saying auntie? Yes, you love.
The aunt. Oh,
the aunt.
Okay, but that was another scene. The scene that I was
But that's not,
about.
but that's the same woman.
No, The
The
woman,
same woman who's the stepmom is who you're
no,
calling
the
aunt.
wife, the brother, the brother's
So
wife.
okay. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. That's his brother.
Yeah.
It's his half brother.
Okay. So the brother's wife, he called her auntie.
You know what? We are so far gone. We are on different planets. You are definitely on Venus right now. I am definitely on Mars.
Okay.
Let's just keep going.
So other little things that happen in this episode is that the agent is trying to get Anthony to do the Joa commercial.
Yep.
Doesn't want to. Hyun is being followed by an employee. Hyun catches him and tries to get him on his side.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then we see, this is another important part, but we see the Ha-ni's together and they're at a restaurant eating.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, they got some money. They have a little bit of money.
They got a little something.
Yes, they're eating. And I really
disappointed they didn't get fried chicken. She's been saying that she wanted fried chicken this whole time.
Yeah, they will. They will. Okay, so the older Ha-ni tells the younger Ha-ni joy is doubled when shared. I thought that was cool when they talk about that at the restaurant. But then after they go shopping, and this was important because the young Ha-ni finds out why the older Ha-ni won't wear skirts.
Mm-hmm.
She has a scar.
Yeah.
She has a scar on her leg.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big deal. And we've seen other dramas where having scars, they really like emphasize not having scars.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like here we're like, ooh, yeah. You know, I got this big
scars
scar.
Build character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then Korean dramas, every time there's a little cut or something, like somebody always goes to the, store to get like some type of something to put on,
some ointment to put on there so that you won't get a scar.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. I was wondering, like, did she run after her dad at the accident and she ends up getting hit or something? I don't know. Like, why would she have a scar? We haven't.
So what we saw, where we saw that is that one, it's a, let's just go ahead and just fill in the dots here, that the father must have pushed Ha-ni out of the way. And so when she fell, all I know is that she was on that corner, or she was laying on the ground. She's like looking at her dad laid out by the bus or, by the truck. And when she gets up, she has a scar, or she has blood all on her leg.
Okay.
So I don't know what else we need for that.
So wouldn't she have that scar now? Or did they not even get that far?
They didn't get that far.
During. Oh, you're right. You're right. Because she left into the future as soon as she saw the truck coming after her. Her dad never pushed her yet.
Correct. We don't know what happened with that.
You're right. So all of that probably happened the same time. So she has that scar to remember. Yep. My dad pushed me out of the way. Oh, okay. All right. So we'll find that.
And I'm going to continue to kind of cry foul here to say that the younger Ha-ni has not asked about her father like that. This is, to me, it's like, it's unsatisfying, because if it was so close, if they were that close and I'm the younger Ha-ni, I want to see my dad.
Yes. They did talk about him a little bit, that they made
him they had a couple moments in there, but it was
the only thing, maybe it's because the younger Ha-ni ended knowing her dad was mad at her, and so so that like just happened. So she's probably still like, oh, I don't know if I want to see dad, he's mad at me. Like she still has those emotions. Maybe
you do a better job of dealing with stuff like that than I do, love.
But then the other thing too is the young Ha-ni would think, oh my gosh, if everybody else looks this old, what does dad look like? How's dad doing?
Something should be triggering in her head right now.
Soon. We should be seeing that real soon, or yes, you should be calling foul.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, grandma goes to the hospital. She's okay. Mm-hmm. We find out she has dementia.
Yes.
The young Ha-ni sees the older Ha-ni getting like beat up by grandma.
Yes.
And she's like, what's going on? What happened?
Right.
And then we have the flashback of how close Ha-ni and the grandmother used to be.
Yeah.
Like they used to be really close.
Mm-hmm.
And the older Ha-ni just tells her, look, when you go back, tell her every day that you love her.
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know, and
I think what we're going to find out with that one, because it seemed to bring her down way more emotionally, is that maybe that's how the grandmother reacted after the father died.
maybe
Just
that's her
that's that
son.
maybe. I'm just saying that
And
might
now she
be
blames her
the connection.
because Hani did say, Grandma cherished me the most. Why is she
Hmm.
beating you up?
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying I'm just connecting dots here for myself.
I think
So
that would, yeah, that would make sense. And so Hani's crying, like the young Hani. This is
hmm.
starting to affect her.
Why are they so old?
Yeah, and what happened? She's gonna start. I feel like she's gonna start having these feelings of, I missed something. What I
Hmm.
mean, she's young, so it might take her a little while to figure out, like, yeah, what happened to you? Why is grandma like that?
Hmm.
What the sister, like, what really happened? What changed?
Right.
Oh, that's gonna be rough. Okay, so the other thing, um, at there's this scene at Joa with the CEO,
Hmm.
and he hires Hani to work.
Yeah.
We saw that relationship, grow, but
Hmm.
they use the word catfish. Like, he used that word, like she's the catfish, and then when he's talking to the son, the other
Hmm.
son that we
Yeah.
think, they're like, the son is like, why would you hire somebody like that and not even tell Miss O, that's his
Yeah.
wife?
Hmm.
um and he's like, well, sometimes you do that. The purpose was to catfish, to bring in her, for her to come in and get um the Miss O to do something more,
Yeah. Work harder, something like that.
something like
Yeah.
that. So the father even says, the CEO, he's like, we'll see if she does that. So I
Right.
don't know really what that means. I'm thinking that, because you see him, he's always pleased with Mrs. O.
Hmm.
Miss O, he's always pleased with her, but I think he wants a little more from her.
Hmm.
And so or he feels like she has more to offer, but
Right.
she's holding back. But remember why she's holding back too, if that's what she's doing, is because the new wife, remember
Hmm.
what she said to her, like,
Yeah.
why are you trying to outperform your husband?
Right.
So she's probably holding back,
A lot.
and the CEO can see that.
Hmm. For
So
sure.
yeah. So anyways, kind that's kind of all the big stuff
For
that really
sure. Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing is that when Hani goes to work, Miss Zoe looks at her and goes, Hani.
Yep.
So she
Says her
knows.
name.
You had an idea of who you thought she might be,
She
right?
might. I am 99% sure that she was the minion.
The friend, Hani's younger friend.
Yep. When she was young, that she was the person that they called her minion. I am 99% sure about that. That's the
That would,
only thing that would make sense,
yeah.
right, to like pull this thing, to keep the storyline going and everything. And then also remember, I was telling you, I don't want to continue. We keep going down the Enneagram thing, but you brought it up this time. But with fours, right? Remember, it's like this whole thing about fate. Like, fate is just a huge part of telling a story around the fours, the romantic. That's another way of thinking about a forest, that is heavily romanticized. Meaning, and romantic doesn't mean like, the gushy, lovey-dovey stuff that you normally think about when you think about romance. Romance, for most people, or for like story writers, actually means more about like these fated like things, right? It's like Romeo and Juliet was very romantic. It was fated, right? It's like they would come together. It was like it was fate. And so something more powerful than themselves brought them together. And so then when you're looking at this, all these, I mean, because look at it. I mean, right? It's like the freaking actor is the bully. The person that he bullied was Hyun. So it's like the circle's gonna just come real tight around this. But the good thing, hopefully, when they do it, if you do it right, like how they did with, I like the way that they did it in Crash Landing on You, is that when you do it right, it really just kind of adds to the drama and the storytelling and all of that stuff and the healing. And most importantly, the healing that needs to happen around it.
So that was it.
That was pretty much it.
Episode 4.
Completely forgettable.
And tomorrow, there was a few good things. I mean, things we needed to know
that they could have just threw into another episode. They could have shown. I guarantee you, by the time we're done with this one, we're going to say they could have had that one at 12, and we would have been all good. It would have been better. It would have been better if we would have had this one at 12.
They could have done that. Yeah, I would have liked that. Well, thanks for listening or watching. We are on YouTube. If you're still listening to us on a podcast, please like us wherever you listen. That would kind of help us so other people could find us. And subscribe if you're on YouTube. And have a happy New Year if you're listening to us. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Be safe.
Indeed. I will be making fried chicken. When y'all listening to this, I will be making my famous New Year's Eve fried chicken.
I will post it.
So hey, there you go.
See Bruce frying chicken. He's only allowed to do it twice a year. Normally once. Yes. So, but I get a green light twice a year. The second time is my birthday in June. Okay. Thanks. Bye. See you soon. Bye.